Hello and welcome to this video on finding the value after a percentage change. So we have some value that we know is undergone some percentage change. It could be a percentage increase or a percentage decrease, and we want to find the new value after that percentage change. So let's dive straight in with this example, and we'll see two different ways we can do this. A t-shirt is reduced from its £12 price by 20%. What is the sale price? So it's £12 and we want a decrease of 20%. Now, one way we can do it is that we could just find what 20% of £12 is, so what was that discount, and then we just subtract that discount from the original price. So if we do 20% of £12, well, do you remember one way you could do it was just to find 10% of £12, and we know 10% of something is a tenth of it, so a tenth of £12 is £1.20, and so therefore 20% would be double that, which is £2.40. So the price is decreasing by 20%, which is £2.40, so we then just need to do £12 minus £2.40, and we just subtract those numbers to get £9.60. However, there's a different way you can do this using decimal multipliers to get the value directly. Now, we saw in a previous video that if we want to represent a decrease of 20%, we think, well, it starts at 100% of its value, and then if it's decreasing by 20%, it's dropping to 80% of its value. So effectively, we're just trying to find 80% of £12 to get the price after the discount. So 80% of £12. Now, if we use decimal multipliers, we turn the percentage into a decimal, and 80% is 0.8. We turn the of into times, just like if we were finding fractional amount, and we just have the 12 there. And if we do 0.8 times 12, we get 9.6. So it would be £9.60 again. So I find this method much easier because you can get the answer directly. What about the second one? We'll use both methods again. I buy a koala for £32 and sell it for a 35% profit. What do I sell it for? So it was £32 and then it increases by 35%. If we do the less direct way, we just need to find out what 35% is of £32 and then just add it on because we're increasing it by that amount. So we first find 10%. So 10% of £32 is a tenth of it, which is £3.20. Then we could find 30%. So 30% is 3 times as much as 10%. So we do that times 3 and we get £9.60. Now we need to make up 35%, so we need an additional 5%. 5% is half of 10%, so we halve £3.20, and that's going to be £1.60. And then we decide, well, how do we make up 35%? Well, we want that 30%, and then we also want that 5%, so they add up to 35%. So 35% is just the sum of these two, which is £11.20. So we know that the profit, the 35% extra we're making, is £11.20, so we just add it on. So we do £32 plus £11.20, and that gets us a new value of £43.20. So the koala, £32, we sell it for a 35% profit, so it's going up by that amount, and that got us to £43.20. But again, we could do it more directly. So we could also use this method. Well, what do we times something by to increase it by 35%? Well, everything starts at 100%. If it goes up by 35%, it's now at 135% of its value. 135% as a decimal is what? Well, we divide it by 100 to convert percentage to a decimal, move the decimal point twice, it's 1.35. So we can just times it by 1.35 to increase it by 35%. And if we do that in our calculator, let's just check we get the same amount. Indeed, we get £43.20 again. Now, this very final one here share prices in Frost Corp fall from 200p per share by 28%, but increase the day after by 28%. What is the new price per share? So we've got 200p, and we're going to do the second method for this question. It falls by 28%. So it starts at 100%, it reduces by 28%, so it's now at 72% of its value. So we times by 72% as a decimal, which is 0.72. Now we could find that value and then add on the 28%, but we can do this all in one go. So now we want to times by another number to represent the 28% increase. So it starts 100%. It goes up by 28%. It's now at 128% of its value. That as a decimal is 1.28. And if we just do that multiplication, it gets us to 184.32p. Now that seems quite surprising because we'd expect if something reduces by 28% and then increases by 28%, well, it just arrives at its original value of 200p. But the thing is, that 20% increase on the second day was of a smaller amount. Just to give you another example, let's just say I had £1 and it reduced by 50%, I now have 50p. But if that then increased by 50%, well, 50% of 50p is 25p, add that on, and you get up to 75p, which was less than the original amount you had. So be careful, when you're finding a percentage change, make sure it's of the current amount, and that will be particularly relevant when we look at compound changes and compound interest and things like that in another video.